Hi, Chuck Freedman, Director of Developer Platform here at Ribbit. While we spend a lot of time talking about the community and the great API that developers have to work with, one of the great opportunities we had recently is to talk with two of the brains behind the APIs, both the Flash platform that we offer as well as the upcoming RESTful API. It's great to identify and talk with some of the brains, some of the people who are really dedicated and passionate about the technology that we share with our developer community. One of the busiest and hardest to get a hold of guys in the company today is Matt Taylor, who recently joined us from BT. Matt's responsible for our RESTful API. He's a product manager, but as you'll see from this interview, his expertise goes into engineering, and he's very passionate about extending this technology to developers. One of the things I want you to listen for, which is really impressive, is Matt talking about the languages and the new features that REST is going to enable. We're very, very excited to have Matt part of everything, and you'll see why.
Platforms is exciting because there aren't really many platforms in this space. There's a real opportunity to create something different and engage a whole new class or enable a whole new class of applications, a whole new world of developers that hadn't really necessarily thought of voice as a feature or communications as a feature. Email is a feature, but what we're doing is adding rich communications as a feature to any existing application. So it's more than any single application. There is a whole class of applications that we haven't even thought of, and that's the exciting part of this, is finding the cool apps and the cool developers that are doing things that we would never have thought of doing ourselves. REST, or what REST stands for, is really it's kind of ground zero for web-based applications. It's like, this is how the web was originally designed. And you know, I'm the first to admit the API that we're working on, the RESTful API, is not strictly RESTful, but it's pretty close. And I think it's very important to try and get back to the roots of what the web is about, because we think communication is too important to be just a specific API for a specific company. So we want this to be as really future-proof and as generic as possible and extensible as possible, so that we see this as something that will last. And will be easily consumed by many, many different types of applications, as easy as the web was in the first generation. So we're just building on that success, or trying to, with this new kind of features. And it makes it easy to layer on other technologies and other wrappers, so that we can make this exposed in many different languages. Up until fairly recently, the main focus of Ribbit as a company and Ribbit as a platform is to expose via Flash, Flex and Flash. So what we're trying to do, architecture, is insert this secure control layer based around REST, and then all the different other languages and wrappers and SDKs will be built on top of that. One of the cool things we're actually trying to do is automatically generate those SDKs based on the interfaces that are available in REST. I mean, we're still a few months away from that, but it's pretty cool stuff when you can just sort of publish one set of APIs, press a button, and automatically generate PHP libraries, Java libraries, .NET libraries, and Flex libraries. The ones that we're targeting initially are PHP, simply because that helps with it's what we're using on the portal side, the developer portal. So we've got a bit of a head start there. But when we've got a common object layer and we can get Java SDKs out and the .NET libraries out using a common object framework, then that'll be pretty exciting. We're doing some very interesting work around Silverlight and integration with Microsoft technologies as well, which will be pretty cool when that comes out. The RESTful API simply defines a set of resources, and the operations that you do on those resources are largely really constrained by the methods of HTTP. So you put to modify an existing resource, post to create a new resource, get to get a list to get those resources in a collection, and delete to delete it. And then the challenge is in defining what those resources are and how they're addressed, and what the parameters are appropriately to help do the kinds of object type things that most developers would come to expect. So what the wrappers do is basically we'll take that and provide a more convenient object level interface. So you can say, well, here's a call. These are the things you can do with a call. You can make a call, you can transfer a call, you can hold a call, you can mute it, you can join a call to another call. And so that's a language that developers will more easily relate to. But building that on top of the RESTful layer gives us the longevity, which is beyond any particular language, which will come and go. But we think the RESTful fad is here to stay, if that's not a contradiction. Just using REST alone, there's a small hurdle you need to get through to navigate the secure perimeter, and we're basing the security protocols effectively around OAuth. So once you got over that small hurdle, and we're providing libraries that will help generate all the right headers for you, then to make a phone call is really, in REST terms, it's just you post to a URL, to your calls resource, and that's it. So you can do that. You don't even need any code to do that. If the headers are set up, that's simply a matter of just writing a form with a post method on that. You just click post and you're away. No code involved. And obviously, once we've got the JavaScript wrappers and the PHP and Java, then we can do all that from the server and through all sorts of other kinds of applications. But it really should be a one-line operation. Making calls is simple as making sending an email. That's the level of simplicity we're aiming for here.